Bum 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 bum. Just chat with Uncle Dominic.
Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to Just Chat with Uncle Dominic. Today we have a very exciting topic. I have with me today Needy. So let's welcome Needy.
Hi
Yeah.
everyone.
Okay, so our topic today is about creating a positive attitude and confident mindset instead of limiting ourselves. So we'll be talking about that today. And if you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to type it in, join in the conversation, and ask stuff so we can all get into it and learn more stuff and help ourselves as well. Okay, so let's start it off with a quote. Today's quote to start off is this is by Henry Ford. Whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. Okay, one more time. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. And this is by Henry Ford. Okay, guys, let's stop wasting time and let's get to it. So, would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself, Needy?
Yes, but before I do that, thank you very much for having me on your show today. I'm very, very excited to share my experience, my insights, and I actually love that quote, something that I revisited just a few days ago because I wanted to share it with my Instagram following.
Right.
So yeah, that's just an amazing quote. So yeah, just a quick introduction. I'm Nidhi Bilani. I'm based out of Singapore, Indian by origin.
Okay.
But Singapore is home now. Married to a lovely Singaporean, and yeah, really enjoy staying here. I
Singapore
am
is a
an
nice
interview.
country, isn't it?
Absolutely, I love it. I love it. Everything is just amazing, and this is where home is. I've got some amazing set of friends, and yeah, I came to Singapore for a reason, but I never knew I'm going to make it home. I'm going
So,
to
are
share
you
that story.
originally Singaporean?
I am not. So I'm originally from India,
Oh,
uh,
okay.
born and raised in Delhi,
Oh,
and came to Singapore in 2007 to fly for Singapore Airlines as a
well,
cabin
that
crew.
wasn't too long ago, was it?
2007
Oh, that was
is
14 years ago. 14 years ago.
yeah,
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 not
that's a
too
long
long, not
time.
too long, not too long. Wow.
That's a long time. So, yeah, probably flashback a little later, but just a quick introduction. So, I'm currently an interview and people skills specialist. I'm a certified image consultant. I'm an NLP coach, which is neuro linguistic programming. I'm a certified trainer and facilitator and founder at Success Talks. So, that's a coaching academy that I started in 2017. Based out of Singapore. What we basically do is we help with career oriented individuals globally.
Right.
So we have students pretty much everywhere: US, UK, Egypt, Taiwan.
You have students from Taiwan?
Yeah, I do
Oh,
have students
wow.
from Taiwan actually. So what we do is we help them to ace their interviews so that they can get hired for their dream job. While focusing on every single aspect of the interview preparation. And I'm very humbled and proud to say that we have over 500 candidates who have successfully cleared their interviews. And,
Nice.
primarily I started this because I wanted to help cabin crew around the world.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that gap, that there was no one who was guiding people because I have that experience. So I was a trainer. I was doing recruitment back in Singapore Airlines while I was flying.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought there was a gap in the industry, and that's where I developed the niche to be able to help people who want to apply for cabin crew jobs. But now, basically, we focus on all interview possibilities. So yeah, that's what we do.
That's nice. You got a whole lot of credentials there. Everything's like right there. Wow. Try to put it all in. I wish I could type it all in. I mean, wow. Wow. You know what? When I was younger, right? Well, I'm pretty old now. When I was younger, I always thought to be a pilot or a cabin crew, to do something like that. But I had this mindset that was, if I'm wearing glasses, I cannot be a cabin crew. And if I'm too short, I cannot reach the what's that thing, the cabin thing. So then I'm not able to be a cabin crew. Is that true?
So of course, there are certain physical requirements that you have to fulfill.
Right. So it's true
Um,
then. I'm too short.
in terms of height, yes, but you know what? Here's an interesting thing. I'm going to share something with you
Right.
since we're talking about limiting beliefs and positive mindset and things like that. I'm going to share that with you. And yes, wearing glasses can be a concern, but as long as you wear contacts, it's okay. So A lot of people always send me these kind of questions. If I'm
course,
wearing
yeah.
glasses, can I go for the interview? If I'm too short, if my height is this, can I go for the interview? But just a quick question: did you actually ever go for the interview?
No, like I've been told this, so I just avoid it. I guess that's the mindset thing, right? We're limiting ourselves. Yeah.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Someone should have told me this when I was much younger. Someone should have done it. Like, oh, I'm too old. But
That's
anyway.
what I do. I tell people what's the reality, but I tell them, you know what? Yes. I mean, of course, I can't change your height, right? But of course, we can change glasses. You can wear contacts, right? For height as well. So this is really interesting. A lot of airlines actually do reach test. And, I shared this video on my YouTube. If everyone is listening here, if they go to my YouTube, there is a video that I've talked about how you can actually increase your reach just by working with your core muscles and just by working with your spine. And it's really about mindset. I've actually shown in that video how you can actually increase your reach by 1 centimeter. So everybody who falls short can actually really make it through that interview.
Not with
But
high
the
heels?
first thing is mindset.
Not with high heels?
No, just tiptoeing.
Okay.
Just tiptoeing.
Oh.
But it really begins with mindset. How
Right.
much do you want to do? How much do you believe in yourself? Do you really want to give it a try? If you're just going to stop at that, you're not going to find ways because you want it so much, then I think you'll never be able to achieve it. So yes, there will always be hindrances, but you have to figure out how you can actually find opportunities. And that's where the whole concept of mindset and positive belief and pushing through comes into play, right?
Right. And there's another thing. You have to be good looking to be a cabin crew too, as well, right?
Again, I think it's a very, very mindset issue because I'll be really honest, okay?
Right.
I actually don't think I'm a really beautiful girl. I personally so here's the thing.
What you
Growing
talking
up,
about? The whole world's looking right now. What's going
no,
on?
I have to say
Needy.
this to you. So growing up, right, I was always told that you're dark skin, you're tan, and and I've grown up in India, mind you, and
Right.
growing up in India amongst people who are usually known for fairer complexion, growing up as a dark skinned girl, as a tan girl, people will always tell you that, oh, you can't do this and you can't do that.
Right.
But you know what? That has never held me back.
Okay.
And again, a lot of people talk to me and say you have to have good set of teeth, for example. And I do this all the time, and I'm going to do this to you as well, as much as you don't want to see my teeth. But I don't have a straight set of teeth. If you look at my lower teeth, I don't have. But you know what I do when I
I'm just
smile?
gonna stare, like,
But that's the thing. When I smile, I never show my lower teeth. I just
Right.
show my upper teeth.
Okay.
And I work with my smile. And when I joined Singapore Airlines, I never really thought that I'm not beautiful. I always work with my personality. I know that I have an amazing personality and I need to showcase that, and that's what I'm going to use. So honestly, looks is not the only thing that matters. It's really about personality. And I think that is the most important thing.
Definitely the personality and the attitude, right? Do you have a good attitude? I mean, you can achieve lots of things, right? Just like Henry Ford said, if you think you can do it. If you think you can't do it, right?
Absolutely. If you think you can't, really. So I remember I think it was last year, somebody messaged me on Instagram saying that you're ugly. How can you be a cabin crew? And
Whoa! Did they actually say that? Oh my gosh!
I got a comment saying that you're dark, you're ugly. How can you be a cabin crew for the world's best airline, Singapore Airlines? And I turned that around into a motivation for myself, and I put a video out there asking people, what should I do? And I had a lot of comments on that video, and then people were like so supportive, so motivated because I believed in myself. I was like, I'm not gonna let that put me down. Like how I look at myself in the mirror really depends on how I look into the mirror myself.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody else is going to do that for me, right?
Mm-hmm. Definitely, for sure, right? I've been saying this to myself quite often. Like the whole world looks at me, like they react to me, things happen to me, probably about 10%, and then how I react to it is 90% of my choices. So that's how I'm trying to put into my life right now. Everything bad that happens, I have to try to think there's something good out of it, or how I react out of it. If I get angry out of it, then that will probably hurt me more than it hurt another person. So just a different kind of mindset that I'm trying to help myself as well.
No, that's absolutely right. In fact, it's taken from the same perspective. What Gautam Buddha says, if you've read one of those, if you're holding a piece of burning charcoal in your hand and you're intending to throw it at someone, you're actually burning your own hand
Yeah,
first.
yeah, yeah. It is. Yeah. So yeah. I heard a quote yesterday from one of the shows that I was watching. Holding a grudge is like putting a stone in your heart. And so the more grudge you have, the more stones you have, and your heart would not be able to breathe or pump properly, and it's gonna be a problem for you in the long run. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I totally relate to that. I mean, we've got to push ourselves. We've got to have that belief in ourselves, and especially in situations where it's needed the most, because that's when we look at other people and we put ourselves down. Especially when I prepare people for interviews, and this is something that I teach is a little bit different from everyone else, because a lot of times people will tell you that don't compare yourself when you're going to the interview, right? They'll tell you, okay, don't compare
Right.
to the
Okay.
person on the
Okay.
right and to the person on the left. But I tell them, you know what? You've got to compare yourself. You have to compare yourself.
Compare yourself
You,
with another person.
yes, you have
Okay.
to. But here's the thought. Instead of doing it for self-evaluation, do it for self-enhancement.
Okay.
A lot of people go to the interview and then they go like, oh, this person is better than me, or this person is better than me in this or that. Yeah, there will be better people in the world. Why not actually learn from what they're doing that makes them better than you, and actually put it into action, maybe in your own way with your own personality. So that's where people stop, because that's the limiting belief. They say, okay, you know what? Yeah, maybe they're just better than me, and I can't do anything about it. But then if you
Okay.
actually just think a step ahead, what can you actually learn from all of this? Yeah, you're not gonna. It's human psychology. I will end up comparing myself. So just by telling me that I'm not going to compare myself, that's not going to work.
Right. Here's I do it a little bit different because I'm an educator in Taiwan, so I teach high school children as well. Before they finish, after they graduate from high school, they have to go to a college exam, and most of the college exam includes interviews. And I mentioned to the students, during the interview, you have to be different. You cannot be the same.
sure.
You cannot be normal. That's what I tell them. So be yourself as well. And then, but they are scared when they go up there and they see, oh, this person is way better than me. They're comparing. And so I always tell them, well, I'm not saying, I told them, don't compare yourself. I was like, if you're ready, you prepare your stuff, just go there, give it all you have. And then if you get it, you get it. If you don't get it, oh well, you did your best. I keep telling them
for
that.
sure.
If they compare it and then I guess, how do we say, human mindset will be like, yes, I'm short of this. I'm gonna, like, the chances of people actually go up is less than, So I feel like I give them this opportunity by telling them they should think about, don't compare. Think about yourself. You prepared it. You've done all the work. You just have to show it. And then if it's not
No,
enough,
that's true. That's true.
yeah.
No, I totally agree with you on that. It's not about comparing yourself from the performance perspective. Of course, you've got to do whatever you've got to do to the best of your ability. But here's the thing, because people are people, right? And
Right.
as much as we tell, don't compare yourself, that thing does kick in. So if it doesn't kick in, that's fantastic. That's great. But if it does kick in, then I guess that's the time where you would want to actually think more positively instead of think negatively. So instead of like self-evaluating and telling yourself, oh, this person's better, you probably just want to say, okay, he's better, but I've got something really great going here. And, yeah, if I don't get it this time, maybe I can take something better from that person and probably put it into practice the next time to see if I can do better. Yeah.
That's good. So tell us, Nidhi, how can we actually stop our mind from actually thinking that we're limiting ourselves?
So I think that's one of the first rules of my coaching class. When people come to my coaching class, I tell them that there is one word that they are, not really one word, but
I'm
there's
not
like a
getting
series
charged
of
for this,
words.
am I?
No.
It better
So
be
I usually
free.
just tell them that that there are these series of words that they're not supposed to use. So they can't say don't, can't, and things like that. So when I ask them a question and they say I don't know, so that doesn't work for me, because
Okay.
you cannot say that, because the moment you say that, you're actually telling your subconscious that I don't. If you tell yourself I can't, you're telling your subconscious that I can't. And when you repeatedly do that, you're basically just telling your subconscious that I can't do this and I don't know how to do this, right? So that's the first thing. A lot of times what we do is that instant reaction of saying I don't and I can't kicks in, and then your subconscious get used to the fact that you can't and you don't, because next time when you want to do something, your subconscious is going to be, hey, didn't you tell me the last time that I don't and I can't? So I think that's the first thing. So we've got to kind of, dismiss that thought by trying to eliminate it or delete it if possible. So that's one of the things that I truly believe in. I think that's really important. It would kick in, but try and dismiss it or try to delete it, and then see what you can, or what you what you have, instead of just what I don't and I can't. So I think that's the first thing a lot of us need to really, really do, because it's really, again, very human for that.
It's not easy though. It's not easy.
Definitely, but it comes with practice. It does come with practice, It's all about training your subconscious at the end of the day. How do you want to train your subconscious? Yes, the thought will come to you, but are you ready to part with it? Are you ready to delete it? Are you ready to dismiss it? But it comes with practice. So I think that's really, really important. And then I think once you sort of start doing that, you also have to build onto your positive beliefs, because you cannot just say that, okay, I won't do this, but then don't do anything about it. So, like positive affirmations, I think those are really important for people in general. And I do this by rule. I have this big, huge mirror, which is right next to my bed. And I actually wake up, and after doing my morning prayers, that's the first thing I do. I actually look into the mirror. I tell myself, how do I look at myself? And I I give myself positive affirmations about the day, about myself, and things like that. So that kind of builds on.
Is that hard? Isn't it weird to talk to yourself in the mirror? I tried it. I tried it myself. Like when I wake up in the morning, I try to go to the bathroom, look at myself in the mirror, and says, Dominic, it's gonna be a good day today. I can do it. Dominic, you can do it. Dominic, you can do it. And then it's difficult. It's weird. Like my kids will come. What are you doing? I was like, talking to myself. They're like, Daddy's weird. They run away and stuff like that. So I don't know.
Since what I'm going to share with you probably is going to sound a bit more philosophical than more mindset at this point in time, but there is this concept of unconditional love, if you have ever heard of it. And
okay.
I as much as I'm an interview coach, I do have another passion. I'm a sound healer. I'm a meditation person as well. So
okay, meditation.
once you develop that unconditional love for yourself, you're truly in love with you. So when you look into that mirror, you're not actually looking at someone else. You're just looking at an extension of you, and it's not really unnatural anymore.
Well, here's the thing, right? I don't know but most guys out there, we tend to not look in the mirror. Like guys don't look in the mirror. But here's just the mindset. If guys look in the mirror, it's like, why? Why would you look in the mirror? Like when I'm teaching in school with high school students, I mean the young generations now, I see girls go to school, they take out their makeup kits and they're doing their makeups in class, like while I'm teaching. And I'm like, okay. So this must be what young teenagers are doing right now. But then I see boys like combing their hair, looking in the mirror. I was like, oh my gosh, what's going on? Boys my age during my time, we never do this. We never worry about our physical outlook.
Well, times are changing.
Right, yeah. So that is a thing, right? So
yeah,
but for me, I feel like
it's all about practice again.
Right. So I feel like I don't know if this time is changing the way they look at their personal outlook. Is that really good for for guys? I don't know. What do you think?
I think there's this huge thing about personal branding, which sort of exists in all our subconscious minds at this point in time, which I think we were not aware when I guess we were young.
Right.
But I think it's really taken.
I'm older, by the way. I'm older. Okay. I'm Uncle Dominic, so there we go.
Okay. No one's calling me Auntie Nidhi though. So Yeah, so I think there's this huge thing about personal branding, which is kind of building up, and a lot of teens and youth kind of are getting onto that train of thought where it's not just about who you are, but it's really about your whole personality, your persona, and and so much more. So it's really about you, your personal walking brand, sort of a thing. So I do kind of relate to that because that's what is happening with the younger generation. But I honestly don't think it's bad as long as you don't abuse it.
Okay,
As
abuse
long
it,
as
right?
you know where to stop, as long as you know what is the purpose to it. I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing. It will definitely help you to establish your own identity, to be able to relate to yourself, to be able to stand out, and things like that. But as long as you don't abuse it, I think that's where we've got to draw that line.
But the line is so, it's hard
Thin.
to find that line. I mean, yeah,
I
so
think I think that's where educators like us come into the play, right?
that is true. That's what I've been trying to do, and that's why I have this platform now to try to, share my point of view out there and to help younger generation as well as people who actually needs help because I've seen I actually, need help myself. So by looking on YouTube and all these platforms, it's hard to find any motivational stuff. Most of the things that they have is most about making money, be successful, and then you're gonna be happy in life. I mean, it doesn't affect. I mean, not everyone's success is all about having money. I mean, I wish I have money. So, but somehow it's more about having the proper mindset and to healthier mental health, I guess, right? And so, for young people out there, it's difficult. Like with COVID-19 right now in Taiwan, we had a lockdown recently, and it's getting better now. But I feel like it gets a toll on people's mind. Like they feel like there's nowhere to go. I mean, and then you see
Yeah.
suicides, and then you see people feeling that they can't do it, things like that. So, yeah, so it's difficult. I think it's getting difficult in this life right now.
No, no, no. You're absolutely right. In fact, we have a friend come over and we were just talking about it. He was sharing that his mental health feels affected, and he's not really a teenager, and he's an office going individual, and he was feeling that way. So I can totally imagine how the
Oh,
youth
so
and
this is a
teenagers.
guy you're talking. Your friend is a guy.
Yeah, yeah. We just had a friend come over for dinner today, and
Oh,
then he was sharing that he feels that his mental health is being affected because
I don't think
uh,
many guys actually admit that their mental health is decreasing. Like, at yeah, I don't really see guys admitting it.
in fact, my husband was actually talking about it the other day. Also, I think there's this huge awareness that is going on about. So that's the thing, right? How I think because of the whole lockdown, we've been consuming a lot of social media,
Mm-hmm.
and again pros and cons, right? And I think there's been this huge awareness in terms of how people are feeling affected in terms of their mental health, and because there is this awareness and
Mm-hmm.
people are trying to kind of relate to it,
Mm-hmm.
and when they relate to it and see the same symptoms, they feel like, okay, maybe I am in that space, and they kind of start to recognize. But again, as I say, pros and cons, right? Because if you don't relate to it in a positive manner and seek help if you need to, and you don't understand where to go, then that's where the suicide and all those things probably come into the play, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's one major change that has happened, the way we've started consuming social media at this age and time during this whole lockdown. And that's where I think influence of your peers, influence of your parents, and how much do you positively intake social media, and how much do you do with that, really plays a huge role. And that is where your mindset also comes into the play, right? Because if you're someone who easily gets affected and you're always in that negative framework, then every small thing is going to affect you, and you will start thinking, oh, I'm feeling that way, and I'm feeling that way, maybe I'm in depression and things like that. So yeah, that's where your ability to process information and see what's right or wrong based on your mindset, how you attune yourself, does come into play.
So when it comes to this, I feel like what you're doing, you mentioned before, meditation actually helps, and I actually talked to a lady earlier, my last guest. She's a mind whisperer, so she does things by doing meditating, and I think like that's really cool. And I tried her meditating techniques, and it's actually helpful, quite helpful. So what is your technique in helping in meditating? Is there?
So I'm not a meditation teacher. I don't really teach meditation, but I
Right.
sort
But
of
you do it though,
incorporate
right? So
meditation. I do it for myself, but I sort of incorporate it in my coaching classes, especially when I'm preparing people for interviews. So meditation is sort of one part of the preparation technique where you kind of, calm yourself down, especially before the interview and when you're preparing yourself, teaching people how to breathe from their diaphragm instead of breathing from their chest. Because when you feel nervous, right? And instead of breathing from here, when you start breathing from your diaphragm, you're actually doing reduced breathing. You're doing breathing that would be less stressful. So
Okay.
you're kind of actually calming your nerves. So that's the kind of things that I introduce.
Mm-hmm.
But I personally meditate for myself, and what I do is something called developing unconditional love for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So when you do this kind of meditation, you are sort of an observer to change.
Observe the
And
change. Okay.
have you heard of Vipassana?
Sorry?
Have you heard of Vipassana before?
Vassana.
Vipassana.
Parsana.
Vipassana.
No.
Okay, so it's a silent meditation where
How do you spell it? I gotta look it up right now.
it's VIPA
V-I. V-I-V-A.
SS VIPASSANA.
Okay, Vassana. Okay.
Yeah, so
Sounds
it's
like an
actually
Indian
silent.
thing, yeah?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a silent meditation. So when you learn this meditation, you are basically silent for 14 days. You don't talk to
14
anyone.
days.
Yeah. So you don't talk to anyone. You only talk to your body. So when you sit for
I think my
meditation,
family will get angry if I don't talk to them for 14 days.
no, you don't do it at your own house. You have to go to a place. They have a designated place where you
Right. If I do
But
that at
then
work,
when
I'll
you,
get
when you
fired
come back, you
soon.
can practice on your own, because
Right.
what they teach you is to observe life as it is. And their main teaching is basically everything is permanent but change.
Okay.
So you observe the changes that you go through, and in that process you sort of develop an unconditional love for yourself, that you don't get affected, and you basically look at things from an observer's perspective, and in that process you kind of develop that love for yourself. So that's what I practice personally, and I've done a couple of other meditation practices like Atma Kriya yoga and things like that, and I put sort of all of them together for myself, for my own well-being. But what I teach to my students is not really all of this, because I'm not really a certified teacher.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, but I'm a certified sound therapist, so I do sound therapies, and I include NLP, sound therapy, and I do that for a different clientele altogether, not for interviews.
Right.
But that's something I do out of passion. Yeah.
Okay. I like that. It feels like here's what I'm taking out of it, right? So if I isolate everything for 14 days, like I'm only focusing on myself, I guess I will definitely be able to see what's in me, and then love myself more. I guess I could see that. Of course there are cons as well. I feel like if I'm looking at myself, I'm just gonna start picking on myself. Like, I know I shouldn't do it, but sometimes I do. Like, if I stand on a scale today, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm up a kg. I think I ate too much today. And so I pick on myself, and the next day I'm like, I have another kg going on. Oh no. And
Yeah,
so,
no, but you could actually but okay, so here's the thing. After you put on that 1 kg, so before you eat food the next day, what are you gonna do about that 1 kg that you put on?
well, here's the thing about me, right? I feel like I don't want to well, what's the proper word for it? I don't want to feel like I want to eat to be happy, right? And I know that, eating healthy is great and everything. I do it, but at the same time I feel like I can't force myself to eat certain food. I cannot. And so at the same
No, but that's the great thing.
See, I say I
Here's
can't.
your
I
dose
shouldn't
of
say I can't.
positivity, right?
Yeah, but yeah, so
But that's your dose of mindset. For you, it's about being happy at the end of the day, right? To a lot of people who go on that weighing scale, and they'll be like, so unhappy with themselves. At the end of the day, you're still happy with yourself, because you understand the difference in having that mindset and the purpose to what you're looking at.
Okay,
So
I have this one question. Okay, maybe this is towards your expertise of doing getting job interviews. Okay, acing them, right? I'm confident with my resume, but when I compare my resume to someone else's resume, there's a prettier or better looking, but mine has more info. And so when it's debatable, people will say more info is great, more beautiful is great. So we have to compare. So if I'm comparing, I'm gonna be like, should I be saying yes, mine is definitely better than yours because I'm confident mine is going to work, or does that resume and cover letter and stuff like that doesn't really matter? It matters more on how we feel about it and how we present ourselves, or is it more about just a piece of paper? I could be like, ugh, here's my paper, and it's beautiful and amazing, but I'm not confident. So what should it be?
So I think there are two things to understand even before we answer. I would answer that question actually.
Okay.
First and foremost, I think it's really about the job that we're applying for, because if these two people are applying for a particular job, say for example, if I'm applying for a modeling job, say for example, right? Obviously, there is a certain requirement in terms of how the person looks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or even cabin crew jobs. At the end of the day, of course, as I said, the looks do make a little bit of difference, but personality also plays a huge part, right? So it really depends on the job role that you're applying for. Because if applying for a modeling job, probably having a lot of information is not going to make me stand out in comparison to someone who is probably prettier, because that is what
The
they are
criteria, of
looking
course,
for,
like modeling,
right?
yeah.
Right. So that's what they're looking for, right? So I think it really depends on the job role that you're applying for. So that's one. And second, I think it also really depends on the kind of interview that you're going for, because nowadays everything is very digital, right? In fact, a lot of CVs, when they go through that digital process and when people look at it, right, how you present information in your CV also makes a lot of difference. Because yes, I have a lot of information out there, but do I present it on my CV in such a way that the recruiters are able to actually look at what they really need, and are they able to match it to the job profile that I'm applying for? So I can put a lot of information which I have gathered. So if I have 7 years of experience, I can actually put in all that 7 years of experience. Or I could actually put in 7 years of relevant experience, highlighting relevant skills that are required for that particular job. So I think that's where the difference comes into the play. So how you present the information on your CV really makes a lot of difference, not just the information out there. So that's first. And of course, if you get an opportunity based on your CV, and if it's a walk-in interview, say for example, you're not really going through a bunch of applicant tracking system based interview, then of course, yes, what's in the CV does make a difference. But let's be honest, the interviewers are not really interested in looking at the CV when they have the person in front of them. They really want
That
the
is
information.
true. That is true.
Yeah, so they want to hear you, and that's the reason they're spending that amount of time with you. So if they're giving you an opportunity, you have to make the most of it. So there could be a lot of information in your CV, but again, how you present it to them at the end of the day. How do you make sure you stand out? How do you make sure that even if both the candidates have similar qualities, how do you actually use certain techniques to highlight certain experiences that will make make the interviewers not just understand, but visualize that you are the right person for the role? So I think that is where the point of difference will come into play.
Well, thank you, Nidhi. I actually helped a friend. Well, yeah, a friend. A few years back, probably like 6 years back, if I remember correctly. He came to me and told me, like, Dominic, I'm gonna take this English job. I want to apply for this English job, but he doesn't have any confidence with his English. I will say this for sure right now. His English is terrible. Definitely terrible. Like, when he came to me, I was like, okay, so you made a first step. You came to me to help you. So that shows that you have a little bit of confidence in trying to apply for this job. I told him, okay, so that's what we need. Your attitude to wanting this job. So then I told him, I looked at his resume. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's terrible. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. We're not going to worry about your resume. I'm going to worry about how you present yourself. So we went through a few lessons. I think there were a total of 6 lessons, 6 times. And then he went there. He aced his interview. He got the job, but he has the worst English speaking ability ever, but he got a job for English speaking. I'm like, oh my gosh, how did he do it? And so they hired him because of his confidence. And right now, when I talk to him again, his English is amazing right now because he has gotten past the first step of being afraid. And so I helped him. I guess I helped him create a positive mindset where he had to believe that he can speak great English even though it's not at that time.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm sure that would have made him, make his English even better at the end of the day. And that's
I
why
know.
he's,
And now I'm feeling like he's making more money than I am right now. That's oh my gosh, what did I do? Did I create a monster? I should be helping myself make more money, but in the same way, I feel good though. I feel good that this story came to me after and I actually helped someone, a student of mine, to achieve something they have. So I like that. That's the reason why I'm an educator. And so
that's
it's just
true.
small
That's
things
true.
like that that helps me, I don't know, happy in life, I guess. I
It's so
have
fulfilling, right? I can so relate to it. It's really fulfilling to be able to see someone achieve their dreams when
Yeah, and
you.
you mentioned you had 500 candidates that have gotten their dream job, right? So that's like wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
it does. It's very fulfilling, of course. I mean, of course, I didn't get paid by all those 500 people because some of them, got jobs by just watching my YouTube videos or at the end of the day, just following my tips. But yeah, it feels amazing. It
Yeah,
feels
I've watched
very
some
good.
of your videos. I'm pretty amazed by it. I'm like, wow, I'm having Needy as a guest today. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm nervous. I'm already nervous. I was nervous
No,
when at,
it's equally exciting to be on your show. It's amazing to talk to a fellow educator and someone who's in the space and just educating people and guiding them in the right direction. I think there's
I hope
always.
I'm guiding them in the right direction. I'm
I
it,
bet you are. I'm sure you are.
it's a bit difficult sometimes, like drawing the line between should I intervene in their life or should I give just advice, and it's very difficult sometimes to understand that. Like I like it when you mentioned earlier the first two things that I shouldn't say, I can't and don't, and so I like that. I'm trying to stop myself from saying it right now. I have so many I can't do it. I'm like no, I'm gonna try and do it. I remember the first time I started this show. It was a while back. Well, it's not too long ago, but it was a while back. People keep telling me, Dominic, it's a waste of time. You shouldn't open a platform. You're just gonna talk and talk, and no one's gonna listen to you. I mean, I still have very little viewers, but I feel fulfilling in myself. Like serve conditional love, right? Or serve unconditional love. There we go. That I feel like I should try and do it. So I did my first show, and I'm still doing it. So this is my the 13th show right now. So it's going on. I hopefully it goes on for a long time, but I did it. I moved past my first step, and now I'm moving on. So hopefully it comes to something in the future. And I keep telling myself, my students and myself, that it's always the first step that is hardest. As soon as we step over that part, we
Yeah.
created a more confidence in ourselves. And I keep telling, don't be overconfident. That's the problem. If we get overconfident, do you get students who are overconfident? How do you do that? How do you teach them not to be overconfident?
Yeah, no, so that's actually a really good topic because I get it all the time as well. I always tell people that you can't be overconfident, and I actually tell them to be nervous. I
Be
have
nervous.
weird strategies. I have weird strategies that I work with. So I tell people that it's good to be nervous because that will avoid you. That will take away the whole problem of being overconfident. So one problem solved, right? If you're
Right.
nervous, you can
Okay.
never be overconfident, right? So that's taken care of. And then we basically work on how to deal with the nervousness because and that's a very personalized process for me because everyone's nervousness kind of stems from different experiences.
That's right. That's right.
Although we categorize this big cloud, okay, I'm nervous because I'm going to an interview. But then everybody's nervousness stems from certain experiences that could have been introduced to them in their early childhood or their teens. It could be something that their parents said, or it could be something that they have experienced themselves. So that's what we do. We dive a little bit deeper and go into that personal experience, and then we try to turn that whole experience into a more positive one. And then we do techniques like anchoring, which is part of NLP, where we teach them to work with their with either a smell or a touch, especially in momentarily times when they feel they're in some sort of fixed situation, especially in interviews. And how to work with their smile, how to work with their body language. So that's how I help to deal with the nervousness. So that's my strategy. I tell them that it's good to be nervous. Yeah, that will take away the
I'm trying to think.
overconfidence.
If I'm nervous, I come to you and say, be nervous. I'm like, I'm already nervous.
So if you come to me and you tell me I'm nervous, I'll be like, that's a good thing. That's a good start.
Okay.
Because you're not overconfident, so I don't have to deal with that, right? So I just have to figure out how to help you with your nervousness by going deep down. And that personally actually is something that I learned with my own personal experience, because when I started going for interviews when I was really young for cabin crew, I was a little overconfident, and I have to agree to this, because I thought that, I was good at talking and that's what they really needed. But then I really realized that that's not really what they needed. And I've got to tone my confidence a step down. And that's where I realized that being nervous is going to help me, because I can deal with nervousness, but it's difficult to deal with overconfidence. So, yeah,
Yeah, so
that's my
that's it.
strategy.
Because I'm a language teacher in Taiwan, and so when I teach, I also teach my students, high school students, how to do presentation, and I always tell them, you prepare everything, you come on stage, you have 3 minutes to present or 5 minutes to present. You cannot be nervous. I mean, you spend all your time, all your money, if there is money involved, to come on stage to present it, and if get nervous, you're gonna lose everything. And then they get more
Yeah.
nervous, right? So I said that's why I told them you need to keep on practicing. Eventually, you get it. I told them, even though if your English is terrible, I keep saying this. Why do I say this? If your English is terrible, it doesn't matter. It's how you present it. Be positive, and if we enjoy it, you get points. I mean, if they can
Yeah.
present their message out, it's amazing. So I'm actually telling my students to be overconfident. But at the same time, I felt that when they are young at this, like you said, when you are young, most young people, when they feel overconfident, it actually doesn't really help them at all. I feel like if
Yeah.
you're too overconfident when you are young, you may not succeed in life at the end of the road. That's what I've seen. I don't know, but from all the people that I've seen people who are overconfident when they are young, at their teens, my age, and then when they grow older, they are not high up there anymore. And those who are
No, you're absolutely
nervous,
right. I
they
agree
are
with you.
better there now. So, yeah.
No, I totally agree, because I think that experience and knowledge is not there, so that doesn't complement that overconfidence. So when someone has the experience and the knowledge, and if they tend to be overconfident about themselves, at least kind of complements. So
Right.
I totally agree with you there completely.
I'm still waiting for
Yes.
myself to succeed, but yeah, I was nervous when I was young. I'm talking about all about
No,
myself as
I
well.
think you're successful. I mean, in fact, I was just going through a couple of videos before we got on. I just wanted to quickly check your YouTube, and
Right.
uh, wait, I didn't subscribe. I'm going to do it right now as we speak. Okay, yes, I'm subscribed to your YouTube channel. So yeah,
Thank
I was
you.
going through
Yay!
this.
I got 51 people right now. This is excellent.
Yeah, and I think those are just some amazing conversations. In fact, I was just going with exactly what you were just talking about. In fact, I was watching the video, "What is success and how do you define it?" And I think what you guys were talking about is it's
He
really
has a
amazing.
book.
It's
He has a
really,
book coming out soon. Do you have a
yeah. So
book? I reckon you should write a book. You have so many experiences right now. I'm hearing. I'm looking at you with your smiles and everything, and I'm pretty sure there are a lot of hardships that you have to bring to you to where you are right now. I mean, you get experiences, and I felt like you should write a book as well. I mean, put all those down, you know, Like the one, actually, here's one of the reasons why I put up my videos. Because I felt like one day I might leave from this world, I might die. If I do that, my children would not be able to hear my voice or see me again. So I'm saying in a way that if I put myself out there, when my kids grow up and I'm not here on this earth, they'll be like, hey, that's daddy. And then they'll pass it on, hey, that's granddad. Or it goes on. Like for me, well, this is experiences for me because when my dad passed away, and so I'm not able to remember him by his voice or anything, just because I don't have any of those collections. I mean, right now with this, that's the reason why I think that if I put it up there, I'm putting something of myself out there. So I reckon you should do it, Needy. I mean,
I think it's a beautiful purpose that you have. I think it's just really beautiful. And yes, I have thought about it. Just that
you
I
can't
struggle
say
a
you
bit.
can't. You have to do it.
I will do it.
There we
Thank you for the
go.
motivation. I needed that. I needed
Hey, you
that
should be motivating
nudge.
me. What's going on? What's going on right now?
No. It's just that juggling a lot between. I have a full-time job and I do coaching on weekends, so just juggling a little bit between stuff. However, I am going to do it. I needed that push, so I'm definitely gonna do it. Yes.
Make sure
So thank you
you
for
write it
that.
in your book that I pushed you. Uncle Dominic pushed me to write this book. I'm like, there we go. And I'll buy that book and I'll be like, yes, I made a mark. I made a mark. There's a mark. Yeah.
For sure, I'll do that.
I mean, it's real though. It's. I'm always telling my students out there. I mean, this world is huge. If we don't make a mark out there, it's not like no one's gonna remember you. Well, probably no one's gonna remember you. But if you put a mark out there, you will feel better yourself as well. You know, and
Yeah.
it's like kind of like positive thinking, help you to feel like you matter. I mean, it's very important that you feel like you belong somewhere.
I agree. Totally. So it's so true. And in fact, social media has enabled us to do that with such ease these days. Just that everyone does it differently. I
Exactly
could
right.
never make those dancing TikTok videos, but I've started doing them now.
Are you doing TikTok?
I am on
Wow.
TikTok, but I've just gotten started because I'm still doing it more from the education perspective. But then
I
one
am
of
on
my
TikTok
students.
as well, so you can look me up, Uncle Dominic.
Okay, sure,
I don't
I
do
will.
any dancing. I'm sorry, no dancing for me. If I dance, I don't know anyone's gonna watch me dance. They probably uninstall the TikTok or something or throw their phones away. I don't know, but yeah, I'm not dancing. I don't think I can dance. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I said it again. I don't think. Oh man. Okay, I should try to dance. I should try.
So
Okay,
you can dance.
there we go. Well, I want to say thank you, Needy, for actually coming to the show today. It's amazing to have you here. Um, I've learned a lot. I'm sure the viewers have learned a lot. Did you have anything to say to wrap it up?
Yeah, no, thank you so much. I had such an amazing time conversing with you. Really impromptu conversation, and I kind of learned quite a lot of stuff along the way. And I really like the purpose that you have. And I think that's very motivating. Putting a purpose to your task can really motivate you to do things. I think that's my biggest takeaway from this conversation today. Because there are days when you wake up and you go like, "Oh, I haven't really achieved," but then there is a bigger purpose, right? And I think
There is a bigger purpose, yes.
that's what keeps you going. So that's my biggest takeaway. And of course, for everyone out there, this is what I tell them, that it doesn't happen. Everything doesn't happen instantly. It's a
Right.
lot of effort. It's a lot of practice. So if you want to be confident, you've got to keep at it. You've got to learn. You've got to look at opportunities. And I think it's really important to create opportunities for yourself. Because when I quit, so I quit Singapore Airlines in 2017, and I quit because I broke my tailbone and I couldn't fly
Oh,
anymore.
okay.
And flying was just an absolute love, because I enjoyed everything that I used to do. And given a choice, I probably wouldn't have. But then when I quit, this is how I started this. If I wouldn't have quit, and if I wouldn't have created an opportunity for myself to look through what's out there, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing right now. And this gives me immense happiness. It's really fulfilling to do what I'm doing. So I think it's really important to look at the positive side of things. If I could have just sat with my broken tailbone, I wouldn't be here doing what
I,
I'm
I, I
doing.
Well, I'm not gonna say I like the broken tailbone thing, but I'm saying it's true though. If like we never know what's out there unless we give up what we have right now to find something. I mean, we're not gonna be successful all the time, but I feel like if we if there's something that we should close, if we close it down, maybe a better door will open, a better window, to open to something new. And it happens for you. Your
Yeah.
success talks, right? And so for everyone out there, please visit her website. I mean, you can learn a lot from it. I definitely a lot. And we should wait for her book to come out soon, next week, I hope. Hopefully soon.
Yes, but in the meantime, anyone who goes to the website, we do have a free checklist that people can access to, which we call Ace Your Interviews. So people can actually download that for free. Yeah, so
Thank you. I hope to have you come on the show again. It's a joy to talk to you and learn a lot. I don't know. You keep saying you learn a lot from me, but hopefully I learn a lot from you.
likewise, likewise. You know, we always hear this learning is every day, but it truly is every day. You learn from every little thing and every little interaction. Just that you have to make an effort to do that. So
Okay. Thank you, Needy. But before we all go, I need to end with a quote. I have to end with a quote. This is from Robert Kiyosaki. Do you know Robert Kiyosaki?
yes.
Okay. So this is what it says: it's not what you say out of your mouth that determines your life. It's what you whisper to yourself that has the most power. So again, it's not what you say out of your mouth that determines your life. It's what you whisper to yourself that has the most power. So again, everyone, it's your mindset. It's how we think. If we think we cannot do it, we can't. If we think we don't want to do it, then we don't do it. But that's not it. Like Needy said, no can't, no don't. We just have to try and do it. Eventually, we'll get there. So, thank you everyone for coming to the show. I hope you enjoyed the show. Get ready for the next show next time. This coming Saturday. Again, you can find me on YouTube, Uncle Dominic on YouTube, on Twitch and Twitter and TikTok as well. So and find Needy on her website. Thank you everyone.
Great. Thank you. Bye.